What up, YouTube? Christmas Primary back at you with another video. I know I said my last video I was going to do this one a little bit later, but you know what? I'm in the mood. I feel like I'm going to get this done. Oop. Oop. I will take that later. Pardon my Imagine Dragons ringtone. Today I'm going to review something that actually a bunch of people have wanted to see on my channel. Now, for those of you guys who are longtime subscribers and or fans or personal friends of mine, you know that outside of YouTube, I am a pretty big fan of WWE. I literally live and breathe it. I cannot go one without watching Raw and SmackDown. The Royal Rumble's in a few weeks. Batista returns on Monday. I really can't wait. But there is one thing that last year made a really big change in the WWE. And that was the WWE Championship. It got redesigned, it got put in vacancy, and it was merged with the World Heavyweight Championship. So,
Larry!
sorry again, Impractical Jokers. Today I'm gonna make a video on something that I showed in my Christmas video that a lot of you guys have really wanted to see, and something that I'm really excited to show you, because now I had one of these a long time ago. If you remember when I first started my channel, and I knew barely anything about WWE. But a WWE fan, to quote The Rock, shouldn't have something that looks like a toy, and it should never, ever spin. So what am I talking about today? I'm talking about this. This bad boy right here. This is the 2013 Commemorative Edition WWE Championship belt. And really, this thing is just that awesome. Now, before I really get too involved with this thing, let me just give you a little bit of a recap on how this version came to be. Now, I want to say it was about late 2012 when WWE kind of leaked out a little bit of a couple of photos on WWE.com asking like what people would want to see if they were going to redesign the WWE Championship. What would they want it to look like? And honestly, there were several concepts. I mean, various things, from having another spinner to, like, eagle designs, all sorts of stuff. But they wanted something that was more universal, because the old one that we had, probably since, like, 2004, it was kind of, I mean, it worked, but it was kind of more toward John Cena's appeal. So, The Rock won the title from CM Punk, ending his 434-day streak at the Royal Rumble, retained it again at the Elimination Chamber, and then immediately after Raw, when he announced he was officially going to WrestleMania, he ditched the old one and brought this sucker out. And honestly, this thing has made such an impact, and it really is such a cool belt. I mean, a lot of people have held it recently. I mean, John Cena won it at WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan won it. Randy Orton cashed in his Money in the Bank contract. Held it since, was put into vacancy after Daniel Bryan on a false count at Night of Champions. Battleground, still vacancy. Randy Orton wanted the Hell in a Cell. I was there. Big Show wanted it at Survivor Series. You merge with the World Heavyweight Championship at TLC. This thing's been through a lot. So, I mean, I was tempted to get the World Heavyweight Championship, but nah. I'd prefer this. So, now, this is definitely a much different than the old spinner belt. If you grew up watching WWE and you remember the old spinner, if you were in the early 2000s, the PG era, which I kind of grew up with, I remember that belt. This is a completely different look. Now, let me just give you a little bit of the rundown. The strap is made of kind of their new simulated leather type strap. It's a little bit more flexible and also not as flimsy and stiff as the old straps. It flaps around a little bit better. Has the, I want to say it's metal, buckle on the end of that. Just like with most replica belts, this thing will fit up to a 46-inch waist. This thing fits me fine. I will demonstrate that later in the video. The snaps are really good snaps. Sometimes they're a little hard, they're a little tight, but they will hold once you get them on. The center plate, obviously still the big WWE logo. And just like a couple of other people on YouTube, I like how it has the full word champion instead of just the word champ. Because, you know, it does kind of, again, reflect John Cena's kind of thugonomics life that he had when he debuted this thing. Now, the thing that was kind of unique when this thing first came out were the side plates. Now, as you'll notice, I want you to take a good look at this belt and notice that there's something unique. Something that's missing now that I've given you about 10 seconds to look at it. There is nowhere to put a nameplate on this thing. Really, there isn't. Because, for some reason, they just never able to incorporate it, and they want the superstars to give it their own kind of unique look. So what they do? If you remember when The Rock debuted this thing, right here where the WWE logo is, there were side plates of the Brahma Bull logo. When John Cena had it, he had his hustle, loyalty, and respect, and the You Can't See Me. And when Randy Orton has his thing on, he has his RKO symbols. And when Daniel Bryan had it, he had his yes, yes, yes. They're just trying to give it a new, unique look to make sure that the belt is theirs. And they do it in an artistic way, because sometimes the nameplates, they can be a little bit bland, but sometimes they still work. But unfortunately, though, they just went with a generic plate, which isn't that bad of a design. I mean, the WWE logo on Earth with a little crown design, that's not bad. I mean, it still works, but I don't know if WWE Shop has any intentions of manufacturing custom side plates. Although, I do know that there was at one point a set for The Rock, but those are no longer available. But, and these plates, this is a commemorative edition, so the plates are made of plastic. But one thing that this thing has an advantage over the other one is that the replica had a plain black back, like it was a separate piece of black. This one's actually part of the leather strap on the belt, which actually is a bit more TV show accurate. But again, if you hear me knocking on it, plastic plates, but they're very durable plastic. I don't see the paint scratching up on these anytime soon, but I'm pretty sure you can get it cleaned up. On the back, not like it's worth showing, but all the screw holes, so if you want to modify this thing or re-leather it, put custom plates on, you're more than welcome. And of course, the signature sticker, authentic merchandise, officially licensed WWE product, Figures Toy Co., manufactured, yada yada yada. So this thing is pretty cool. This thing is actually pretty tall as well. From standing up to my foot, it comes up to about here, which is about my chest. So it is about, I'd say about maybe at length about 5 feet or so. But I don't know. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on for you guys. Now, the best way to put this on, as Dolph Ziggler taught us when we had the World Heavyweight Championship, just kind of spin it around to the back. That way you get the straps to the front and buckle them. And again, these things are a bit tight, so I apologize for that. Let me just try this here. This thing is not giving me trouble. I was wearing this thing about 2 minutes ago. There it goes. Now, so you don't have to buckle them all, but just enough to get it held on your waist. Spin it around, and there we go. Just lower my Mac up the screen a little bit, and here it is around my waist. It's a pretty good fit. It fits pretty good. It's tight. It's not going to fall off. I don't imagine it being too loose, depending on how tight you make it. And it's really kind of how this is the way they wear in the show, because there is a little bit of a gap here in between the belt and your chest. But I'm okay with that, because, you know, it's the way it is in the show. I mean, sometimes you see when Cena had it, he would kind of rest his arms on it, which is kind of a good thing. The strap feels pretty good all the way around. It doesn't feel too loose. And it really just has a much better fit. And also because that other toy belt was really thick on my waist, because, I mean, I'm not going to lie, that thing didn't really fit because I wasn't that healthy. I mean, I'm much skinnier now than I was back then when I made that other video, because, for one, I didn't know anything about WWE, and I just was not a healthy guy, but that's changed now, so this thing definitely would fit better. I'm not going to lie to you, if you are a WWE fan, and you are crazy about the WWE Championship, even though if it's not united or not with the World Heavyweight Championship, and I realize now if I was going to show both those, I should have worn a Randy Orton shirt instead of this CM Punk one I just got. I would recommend this. I can't recommend it enough. Now, I got mine as a Christmas present, as you saw, but this was purchased from WWE Shop, as you would expect. I believe, yeah, it was ordered on the day that it came out in WWE Shop, and they had a 20% off sale on all title belts. So instead of paying the full $200, I think I paid about $160, I think, for this thing. Yeah, about $160. So, but now it goes for the full $200. I would not try eBay because they're probably a lot more expensive. But if you want the full replica one, it's like a whole $450. So, for a belt that's about half price, looks a little bit more show accurate, and is a little bit cheaper, I'd say go for it. I cannot recommend this thing enough. I absolutely love it. I mean, every week I'm walking around every time Raw and SmackDown's on TV, like it is tonight, I'm walking around my house, I've got this thing on my waist, on my shoulder. I'm doing something with it. My screen's darkening out, but I can't recommend this belt enough. It is awesome, and if you're a WWE fan, you have to own one of these things. So I guess that's about it. Later, guys.